What is going on, everybody? TJ Stradamus back, and wow, what a night in the NBA it was yesterday. We had the Lakers got bounced in the first round last night, 113-100 by the second seeded Suns, and man, I love this Phoenix Suns team. I really do. I I was never the biggest as a Warrior fan. I was never the biggest Chris Paul fan when he was a Clipper, but he is growing on me by the game. Just because what I've noticed, now that I'm older and more into basketball, his leadership qualities are just out of the order. They're really great, really amazing. Like this, Devin Booker last night. Oh, he was clearly the best player on the floor again. I said going into the closeout game, if Devin Booker is the best player on the floor again, they're in trouble. And I'm surprised. The Lakers only scored 14 points in that first quarter. And you can't do that against a team like that. It was 36-14 after the end of the first. It's over. That just takes the life out of your team. And I applaud Anthony Davis for trying to, toughen out his groin strain. But plain and simple, my honest opinion, I agree with Charles Barkley on everything he said last night. He shouldn't have been out on the floor. You don't just magically heal from a strain over time, over like 3 days. It just doesn't happen. Because, like, Kevin Durant, prime example, he strained his calf. Took him like almost a month to heal from it. I feel like Anthony Davis, plain and simple, should not have been on the floor last night. And look at it this way. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. LeBron shot under 50% from the field, even though he scored 29 points. I don't know. I think Father Time is starting to catch up to LeBron. But because every time I would look at him, every time I watched him, especially when he would drive to the basket, he would either hesitate to lay it up or pass it out. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're LeBron freaking James. Me and Skip Bayless were consistent on this. He's the greatest driver of the basketball ever. I'm sorry. It's not even close. He is a freight train. You just look at him, it's like, dude, he's a freight train. But my other now, what blame do I give for the Lakers' early exit? I got to give at least some of the blame. I give probably about 45% of the blame to LeBron. I'm going to put 15% on Frank Vogel because, okay, AD's brittle. Okay, and they did put Montrez in, which I'm totally good with. But you put Marcus Olin over Andre Drummond? Hello? I didn't understand. I no knock on Marcus Gasol, but he's a shell of himself. That's just what he is. He's a glacier. He's a literal shell of himself. He can't. I mean, all he can do is to just play pick and roll. That's all he's good for now. I won't be surprised if he announces retirement because he is starting to get a little up there in age. So I mean, yeah, Devin Booker last night was the best player on the floor, and which brings me to they're going against the Denver Nuggets, who finished off the Portland Trailblazers last night. And Jesus, Michael Porter Jr. has really stepped up with no Jamal Murray. I like this. I really like him too. He's another one of those up and coming stars that you got to keep an eye on in the future. And obviously, we know Joker is probably going to be the MVP. I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. That series, now the Phoenix-Denver series, that is going to be a fun series to watch. I definitely, what to look for now? What do I look for in that series? I look for Phoenix to come out aggressive because, another guy that barely got talked about really was DeAndre Ayton. He was outstanding. He's really starting to grow on me. I liked him. I liked him last year, but man, he is growing. He's gonna be a pretty good player in this league for a long time. But yeah, I think the key for the Phoenix is stay aggressive, look for great shots, get Devin Booker his shots, let Chris Paul do what he does best, distribute the ball. That's going to be a fun series to watch, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now, who do I have to win in that series? Those teams, I think, if Denver had Jamal Murray, I would say Denver in 6, Denver in 7 if they had Jamal Murray. I'm gonna go Phoenix in 6 because I gotta say, I love this Suns team. I really do. Do I think they're better than Utah? I'm not sure about that, but they're pretty darn good. I mean, Devin Booker is growing on me by the game. If he's the best player on the floor for most of the games in the second round, yeah, the Nuggets are going to be in trouble. So, literally looking forward to round 2. Tune in.